Hey everyone, and welcome to another explainer from Book Lovers Unite, where we get into books that really make you think. Today, we're going to talk about a word that makes pretty much all of us squirm a little bit. That word? Failure. I mean, think about it. We live in this world that is just obsessed with success, right? We filter our lives on social media, we polish our resumes till they shine, and we shove our mistakes deep into the closet. But here's a thought. What if the problem isn't that we fail? What if the problem is that we're just failing the wrong way? So our guide for figuring this all out is the book Right Kind of Wrong by the brilliant Amy C. Edmondson. Now, she's a professor at Harvard, and if you've ever heard the term psychological safety, yep, that was her. She literally coined it. This book, it's kind of like the next giant leap in that whole conversation. Okay, so what's the big question this book tackles? It really boils down to this. How in the world do you tell the difference between a dumb, preventable mistake and a smart, productive failure? Let's get into it. And to really get a grip on her framework, you have to hear the origin story. Seriously, it's fascinating. It all kicked off with this one study she did in a hospital. So back when she was a PhD student, Edmondson started with what seems like a super simple hypothesis. I mean, it's total common sense, right? She thought the best, most well-run hospital teams, well, they're obviously going to make fewer medical mistakes than the teams that aren't working so well together. Seems pretty obvious, doesn't it? Well, the data came back, and it was absolutely shocking. It showed the exact opposite of what she expected. You can see it right here. The hypothesis was that good teams mean fewer errors. But the data? It showed that the good teams were reporting way more errors. What was going on? Did she have it all backwards? And this is where it all clicks into place. It's so brilliant. The good teams weren't making more mistakes. They were just admitting to more mistakes. Why? Because they felt psychologically safe. They believed they could speak up, point out an error, or ask a question without getting punished for it. And that insight is the bedrock for everything else in the book. Okay, so now that we have that foundation of psychological safety locked in, we can jump into the core framework of the book. And it starts with a really simple but powerful idea. Most of us just lump all failure into one big, scary bucket. But not all failures are created equal. We've got to get more specific. And this table here just lays it all out so clearly. Edmondson gives us 3 totally different categories. First, you have your basic failures. Think messing up a recipe you've made a dozen times. These are caused by inattention, and yeah, they're preventable. Then you've got complex failures. These are those unavoidable system breakdowns, like when a whole bunch of things go wrong at once. And finally, the big one, intelligent failures. This is the right kind of wrong. It's what happens when you're experimenting in new territory. These are the ones we should actually be celebrating. So the big question is, how do we get more of those good, intelligent failures? And maybe more importantly, how do we know if a failure was actually intelligent or if, we were just being lazy? Well, the book gives us a playbook for that. Now, here's an absolutely crucial point. Context is everything. That whole Silicon Valley mantra, move fast and break things, that is fantastic advice if you're in an R&D lab trying to innovate. But it is terrible, dangerous advice if you're on a manufacturing assembly line or in an operating room, right? In those places, the goal is 0 mistakes. So how can you tell if your last failure was an intelligent one? The book gives us the super clear 4-point checklist. Ask yourself, 1, were you in new territory? 2, was the goal to chase an opportunity, not just avoid a loss? 3, was it informed by what you already knew? Did you do your homework? And 4, was the experiment as small as it could possibly be? If you can check all 4 of those boxes, then congratulations. That wasn't a mistake. That was the price of tuition. You just bought yourself some incredibly valuable information. Okay, so how do you actually start practicing this stuff? The book gives us a few really practical tools. First, frame the work differently. Don't call it a performance. Call it an experiment. Just that one word change lowers the stakes and encourages people to explore. Second, and this is a big one for all of us, you've got to destigmatize failure by separating your own self-worth from your work's output. A failed project doesn't make you a failure. And finally, when something does go wrong, run a blameless post-mortem. The question is never who did it, it's what happened and what can we learn. All right, so we've covered a lot. What is the single biggest idea, the final takeaway, you should really walk away with from this book? When you get right down to it, reading Right Kind of Wrong is just a massive relief. It gives you permission to be human. It's a reminder that the goal isn't to be right all the time. That's impossible. The real goal is to learn faster than everyone else. That's the game. So for our final verdict here at Book Lovers Unite, this is an easy one. It's a 5 out of 5, hands down. It's just so rare to find a book that's this scientifically rigorous, but also deeply human, and something you can start using in your life like tomorrow. Hey, if you got something out of this breakdown, it would mean the world to us if you could help our community grow. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, share it with a friend, especially that perfectionist friend we all have, and of course, subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive. And we'll leave you with a question to think about. Using this new framework, think about a recent failure you had. Was it a basic mistake that you can learn to prevent, or was it an intelligent experiment? Be honest with yourself. Let us know what you think down in the comments below.